Hi, I'm Zaria, and in my previous presentations, I have explained what genetically modified foods are and how they are harmful to consumers in the environment. Again, I would like you to keep in mind how important your health and well being is to you. My term topic question is: should there be more restrictions on genetically modified foods in Pennsylvania? Yes, there should be stricter laws and regulations to decrease the amount of genetically modified foods produced because of how bad they are for the environment. Today, I will review the controversial topic that I've discussed and explain some of the proposed solutions to this issue. Genetically modified foods have been around for many years now, and those who profit from them claim that they are very helpful to the environment and for people in certain areas has increased the amount of nutritious food available. Those who are consuming them need to know the negative aspects of what they are being fed and why there should be more rigid laws put in place. My first main point was: would more restrictions on genetically modified foods cause a decrease in food production? Many people who are for genetically modified foods believe that without them, it will cause food shortages and an increase in food insecurity. One source of evidence I found to combat this claim was from the Institute for Responsible Technology, which stated more restrictions on genetically modified foods would better ensure the safety of the food consumed by the public. This article also stated that the FDA does not currently require any safety studies and allows companies to market their food without the knowledge of the EPA and the USDA. The second point that was addressed was if the biotechnology being used could make food more nutritious, have a longer lasting shelf life, and taste better. According to the Center for Food Safety, genetically modified crops do not offer much more nutritional value than naturally produced crops. The main reason these crops were introduced was to increase pesticide resistance and for crops to create their own pesticides. This source offered important facts on why genetically modified foods were created in the first place, and its main reason was not to make food more nutritious or more pleasant to eat. My third point was the impact that these GMOs have on the nature of our society and what the claimed benefits are. Due to the extensive articles found, there clearly needs to be more regulations on their production. A significant source I found was from an accredited professional for the agriculture and trade policy. He stated that many genetically modified foods, such as corn, can contaminate other crops. These genetically modified organisms can also affect organic crops and cause a decrease in market value for organic farmers. Biotechnology companies had also faced multiple lawsuits due to not following EPA protocols. A solution that I propose would include more cohesiveness between agencies such as the FDA, EPA, USDA, and other organizations that pertain to food and environmental safety. Currently, according to a policy established in 1992, the FDA considers genetically modified crops as equivalent to non GMO crops. Under the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, the FFACA, do not require pre market approval. My suggestion in modifying this policy is to not consider GMO crops as the same as non GMO crops because they are not created equally. Congress should enact regulations specifically for genetically modified food as such as required labeling for those type of foods. Mandatory labeling is important because people have the right to know what is in their food they are consuming. Also, currently those in the biotechnology field are the ones who determine whether or not these products should be regulated. And I do not believe that is in the best interest of the consumer. Agencies that pertain to food and environmental safety should create coordinated regulations so they are all on the same page with the laws and policies. The state of Vermont offers evidence which supports my proposed solutions. In this state, a law was enacted in 2014 called Act 120, which required all genetically modified foods to have proper labeling by the year 2016. If companies did not abide by that law, then they were to be fined $1,000 per day per item. In Europe, genetically modified food labeling is constantly being tested for whether their food is toxic, the nutritional value, and if it causes potential allergic reactions by the European Food Safety Agency. Also in Brazil, food containing more than 1% of genetically modified products must provide information regarding their ingredients on the label. To conclude, it is important for consumers to know what is in their food because we do not know what detrimental effects can happen to our bodies. In this presentation, I discussed my main points from my former argument, and I also offered some modifications to the policy that is already in place in the United States. Reaching out to elected policy officials is always a good way to receive information on what actions local or state government is doing to address the issue at hand. Another action everyone can make is to do research on what foods can potentially be genetically modified and try to stay away from them when you are grocery shopping because you do not know the harmful effects of these chemicals put into these foods. Overall, it is important to stay knowledgeable about what you are consuming because it can compromise your health. My decision to choose this term topic allowed me to learn a lot more information about genetically modified food, even though I was already familiar with the controversy over them. What I would like everyone to keep in mind is that I picked this topic to inform people about the negative impacts of genetically modified foods and to be a wise consumer when it comes to food. Thank you.